Good morning and welcome to WriterGreg on twitch.tv. Glad that you could all make it. And thank you so much for being here. And yeah, glad to have you. Having a good conversation in the chat, and we will be starting off this morning with a article review provided by Dazzlecat, who has just redeemed that, and we will get some singing in once we agree upon a song. And just a big, by way of an announcement and a big shout out, thank you so much to everyone. Yesterday we crossed the 300. Wow, there's a slip of the tongue. 300 Twitch followers here on WriterGreg, and I really appreciate everyone who's coming and joining and working on their creative goals 15 minutes at a time. It really is a great way to start the morning or end the day, wherever your time zone may find you, and I just really appreciate it. It's great. Beyond my expectations, and I do hope that all of you are I hope all of you are just having a great day. So yes, hey, if I ever hit 3,000, that'll be fun too. I don't know if writing streams will ever get that big, but you know. All right, so here, let's start with the stream of the thought of the day. This is a stream we'll be getting to as it is that. Let me. Okay, the thought of the day is this beautiful picture that we have here. Let me get that sun, that bright light out of the way. And that didn't work. Oh well. Okay, we often think of the book and the movie and then the book, and the book has all this extra detail, all this wonderful stuff there down underneath, but I want to take it one step further. If we were to rewrite this meme, we could put the book at the top and the world building underneath. And while we do want to make sure that we avoid getting into too much detail, world builder's disease, and we need to actually write the book, the important thing is that we still have enough structure underneath our book and our story that it makes sense, that it feels lived in, and that you have a lot of good information in there. So we may be doing a lot of world building and it may not apply to the actual point, and there is that fine balance. Make sure that you have enough world building information about your story so that it feels deep, it feels real, it feels lived in. So it's not like one of those old western towns that are nothing but facades for a movie set. All right, so that is what I'm sharing today. And if you would like to have a copy of that, I see quite a few little emotes on that already. Okay, this stems from the idea that a picture's worth 1,000 words. The films try to balance that. That is why books are never enough when made for movies. Yeah. And I do recognize that they are a different film genre. They're a different medium of telling stories, and you tell stories differently on film versus on in a book. I understand there is that difference, and a one-to-one translation of a book to a movie doesn't always work. But arguments of movie translations aside, let's focus on making sure we have good, solid world building for our stories. All right, so I'm going to jump into our first of the world uh, review articles as soon as I can find that. We'll take the music off. We'll start the timer. All right. Okay, so those of you who are interested in running a sprint, feel free to go ahead and do that. But here we will be going into Broken Keel Bend by Daz the Cat. Can't see much with this mist, Captain, the helmsman complained to Captain Sharps. It'll burn off now that the sun's out, Spooks, Captain Sparks told his nervous helmsman as he pointed to the bright spot in the thin veil of mist surrounding them. Don't like not seeing clear, Spooks persisted. This part of the river's tricky on clear days. He scowled at the mist. There's tales of wickedly things happening in the mist. Captain Sharps rolled his eyes. If Spooks wasn't such a master helmsman of the dark water, he'd have gotten rid of him, probably with an anchor chained to him. We're not going back to the main river, Spooks, Captain Sharps told Spooks. The Miriam Marine's watching for us. I don't know, Captain, Spooks whined. Captain Sharps took a deep breath, held it, and let it out slow. He said nothing through his hand, though his hand twitched toward the cutlass sheathed at his belt. Okay, cool. Sometimes you do have the word spooks here a lot, and here and you have the stuff in between the sentences. You really don't need, you have spooks and spooks and spooks and spooks, and so when there's only two people, you can allow that information. You don't always need to specifically call out who it is, and so I would probably get rid of one or the other one. Does the captain, if the captain hates him so much, would he always be calling him by his name? Or, you know, Captain Sharks said, you don't need to, you may not need to have the Captain Sharps told Spooks. We know he's telling this to Spooks because he said it in here, and there's only the two characters there. So there is a way to tighten that up and allow and show trust into the readers that they know who's talking to who. Okay. Having got in that defiant complaint, Spooks kept quiet, his eyes peering hard at the water ahead. There was a strange sound of rippling water faintly splashing around the hull. What's that? Spooks squeaked. Ain't not. Captain Sharps started to answer. The stops. Captain Sharps started to answer. The stops as the bow of his two master ships, River ship, River Dart, started to turn toward the nearest riverbank. Spooks! He yelled even as the nervous helmsman was already turning the ship's wheel hard to port and away from the riverbank. The River Dart turned, but the ship still headed toward the riverbank. Hands to oars, Captain Sharp shouted, then swore as he realized there was no time for his crew to get out their oars. Belay that, poles to starboard. The river ships were small enough that its crew could use poles to safely moor or launch it from a dock, or to try and keep it from striking a hazard in the water. The crews got their poles out and tried to push the River Dart away from the rocks. They could now see, we got a double word there, now see before the riverbank. They managed to slow the ship enough so that it rode up onto the rocks rather than smashing into them. From the shore there came along screeching laughter. Shapes moved in the mist between the trees on the bank. Repel boarders, Captain Sharps ordered, and drew his cutlass. With shaking hands, Spooks drew his cutlass and put his back to the helm. God preserve us from wickedly things, he prayed aloud. For once, Captain Sharps agreed with Spooks as he stared at the misshapen things splashing towards the ship. And then the first of the things jumped aboard the River Dart. Okay. All right. So again, a lot of using of names and attributions in between the dialogue. There's still only two people talking, and you have we know like that belay the we know like hands to oars. We know that the captain is talking because he's giving the commands here. Um, this Spooks. Okay, I need to get this my pen out. Okay, this Spooks is this one still here is good and necessary because he's just yelling and it would be a natural thing to do. Um, Now you have here two-masted river ship. Okay, having two masts in a river, that seems like it's going to be really big, and I just don't know how that worked. Do you really have enough wind for a river ship? But that is your choice depending on the thing. But I really did like the explanation here about the poles and how it did help them. I really like that, how he had an idea, it was a mistake, and he went back on that. I did like that one specifically. Okay. And the ending here, for once Captain Sharps agreed with Spook. That shows good character. It shows that, he's human, he can be scared as well. And you were able to say he was scared without him actually saying it. You relied on the subtext that he agreed with the man who was praying to a god for his life. So I did like that. And all right, okay, so let's get um, Broken Keel Bend is a long, lazy turn in the Darkwater River. The bend is wide, and the water flows between several narrow ridge-shaped islands, forming many channels. Though the bend is lazy, the current is not. Sudden rapids, swirls, eddies, and shifting sandbars that hide sunken logs are just waiting to pierce the hull of a boat. Unless a day starts sunny and bright, the mists of Broken Keel Bend hide its dangers. From fishing boats to river ships, those who wander into Broken Keel Bend risk losing their boats and sometimes their lives. In a seedy tavern called Twisted Tam in the town of Blackstone, there's a very nervous riverman who shivers as he drinks down his watered down ale. For a few coins and another drink, he'll tell the most haunting tale of Broken Keel Bend. I followed beside Captain Sharps there at the helm till one of them struck me overboard out the rocks. The quavering man put down his tankard and rubbed his crookedly heeled left arm. Broke my arm hitting the rocks. The scream from the deck was terrible, and that wickedly laughter came closer. He gulped down half his ale. I ran the rocks to shore, then ran and ran. Something crashed through the woods after me. I ran out the mist and it stopped. It didn't leave the mist, just howled and raged after me afore going back. I waited and waited, but no one else came out of the mist. The quivering man finished his ale. I followed the river here, hoping someone will return from the river dart. None has, and neither has the river dart. Must still be sitting up on them rocks. Spooks, a helmsman too terrified to return to sailing on the dark river. Yeah, that is good. Uh, okay, dark. So here, you have these um, you have these referenced as they're coming from a book, and I mean, it. I like the prose, but is a prose like this gonna be in a book? That's just curious. I don't know. All right, that sprint is over. Let's see else we could. It is an interesting approach to focus heavily on the narrative as opposed to the story itself. I would be curious to know why would people use this river if it is so dangerous? You did have the Miri Marines are watching for us. So over here in the description, you could say it's only used by smugglers and it's a nomad no it's an area where the Miri Marines won't come and watch you. Also, you could talk about the depth of the river so you could give an idea of how big of boats, because when you talk about the two-masted river ship, how big is that river ship? How deep does the water of the river go? So I just don't know, because these things that you're giving here, this one seems like it could be a deep river, but this one definitely not. So a little bit more about its navigability, meaning how wide, how deep, things of that nature, would help really paint the picture and explaining why on earth people would want to do this. Yes, you put it in the narrative, but I'd also recommend you put it over here in the sidebar. And yeah, so well done. Well done. Okay. Now we'll jump over to another one by, this is from James. Glad to help, Dazzlecat. Thank you for letting me review it. Okay, chromatic smithing, the whole spectrum of metal smithing. All right. Okay. The book was published in 2060 as people were getting confused between the differences of metalsmiths that operate currently. As there have been people who go to one particular metalsmith expecting to commission a particular product, but instead finding that they were at the wrong type of metalsmiths. Please look at the article, the contents of the documents, and the acknowledgments. Okay? Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. This let me just zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is a document. I don't need you. This continued to the point where both parties of customers and metalsmiths were getting frustrated. A plan was devised to educate the masses so that the issue would have less occurrence. The book is used as a textbook in citizenship classes to educate students on the different metalsmiths and what metals they use. The book, which is highly known for its turquoise color, can be bought at any book retailer, and therefore it is not just a book for the school system. Okay, let's start. Okay, start. All right. Background. When this book was published and taught in citizenship classes is at age 14 to 60. Okay. With this book published and taught in citizenship classes at ages 14 through 16. That is an incomplete sentence. You could probably just get rid of with and say this book was published and like for ages 14 to 16. That is an incomplete sentence. Students once they left education were less likely to go to the wrong metalsmiths. Since the book was widely accessible, the population that were not taught this taught themselves. This had a particular impact as the confusion was limited. Since the city was a forestry industry, the city has a stable production of wood. Unfortunately for the printing industry, not enough wood is produced for everything. So all products that need wood, without the wood being destroyed, for example, in the paper making process, are made. Therefore, the book is not published within the city. The sawdust and wood chips are exported to make the paper, as there is not enough space in the city for a paper mill. That is a fun bit of world building and a good explanation, and how rare paper actually would be because it's only allowed. It's only sawdust and wood chips. You can't actually destroy a tree for it. But you may want to think about there are some trees that make good wood but are not good for construction purposes. You can make paper out of a lot of fibrous materials, not just the trees. You have reeds, bamboo, you have a lot of fibrous materials. So because unless you want paper to be really expensive, the people would need to have another source to make abundant paper instead of just the wood chips and the sawdust. So if you don't want to have an alternate form of paper created, then your paper is going to be very expensive and it's going to be difficult to be able to find these books, or only the wealthy could buy them. And would the wealthy really spend time buying a book that is about the different colors of metalsmithing? Or alternately is paper, reeds equals papyrus. Thank you, Des the cat. Or is there so much, reeds or grasses or other alternate paper making material that is used to substitute for the wood? Well, yeah, but even in the United Kingdom, there are other materials, and it will require research. It's just what do you want to have? What kind of world do you want? A paper scarce world where books are expensive, or a paper rich world where alternate forms of alternate materials other than wood? Okay, so I would recommend that since you want paper rich, that you would then research the kinds of plant materials that grow in the United Kingdom natively that could be used to turn into paper, or the type of trees that are unsuitable for construction that could be also then be used for paper. All right. just an idea of expanding, because it's the second and third consequences of our world building decisions that we sometimes need to think about. That goes back to the thought of the day. What is underneath the water? We need to know all of this because it'll make our world feel more lived in. The book is well known for its turquoise color and its nickname, Cox Book, referring not just to the color, but the class that it is used in as part of the education that citizens of the city get. The book is well received by the general public. Students may, of course, not enjoy the book as it is a part of their schooling. The general public enjoys the book as it helped them after leaving education. The book got its nickname from copper and oxidation. As copper oxidizes, it can go a green color. The Co from copper, the X from oxidation. Coincidentally, this spells Cox, a type of apple which can be red like copper. It can also relate to the fact the book is used in education. Okay. Need some extra commas in there. I would recommend reading this out loud again, and a good rule of thumb for sentence length is how can you breathe. Okay, if you are taking a deep breath and you can't get out the whole sentence in a breath, you need to throw a comma in there or consider chopping that sentence into two and reworking it. Okay, paper published widely. Edward Cole. Okay, history. Difference between blacksmith, whitesmith, brownsmith, redsmith. YouTube video. Cool. Blacksmithing. Good. Acknowledgements. Oh, thank you so much for the acknowledgements. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. I think you have some good information in here. I do think that you would need to, work on the columns, making sure the sentences flow, reading them out loud, and you could about that this I used a sprint to take over about a book. This is that book. Oh, okay. Well, and Dazzlecat, his James's world is actually in a future but you have a great point that if in the degradation of technology, did they go back to the slates and blackboards to write on? Yeah, that's a good idea. Bringing back slates and chalk. Okay. Um, I would recommend, James, as you work on this article. Okay, so they retained paper making. No, we're not going full on cuneiform. No clay. uh, I would recommend that just the same way that I've read this out loud, you could hand this article to someone else, have them read out loud, and listen and and see where a person stumbles on their words in the reading of a fresh reading. That way you can know where problems may be, because if a person can stumble when they're reading out loud, there may be something wrong with the sentence. Whereas when we just read with our eyes, we scan, we may not see everything, but the reading out loud would have it. Okay, yeah, Magic is saying the same thing. Having his wife read out the papers in university so I could find mistakes. It helps. Very true. and also reading it backwards. For example, you start with the last sentence at the bottom here, and you read it. And then you go to the second sentence. Oh, there's that sentence there. There's that sentence. And you just read it sentence by sentence backwards. And then you can see if the sentences stand alone, because reading it backwards sentence by sentence will prevent you from getting trapped into the narrative flow and then making assumptions. So that is having someone else read it out loud while you mark where they are, and then also that. Okay. Again, good job. Okay, we have a... Hey, Pitu Putu, good time zone. Now, all right, so we've done Dazzlecat, we've done James, Nathalia. Do I have a link from you? Hey, Kiddo Boy, good morning. Yep, it is a busy one. Let's see. Where? Oh, there it is. Okay, Nathalia. Okay. I think I didn't do Joy to the World. I did. I thought I did. It doesn't matter if we redouble things. Switching of symbols. Uh-oh, Deslicat and P2 Poo2 are going to have an emoji off, which sounds weird for many reasons. Okay. What we got is... I'm going to save the songs till we get these done. And let's jump into Nathalia. And yeah. Okay, this is a ritual article. Okay, switching of symbols. Why humans give their lovers just a golden ring. This is more intimate. Maybe why do humans give their lovers just a golden ring? Okay. Oh, it's a Santa hat. Fun, Dazzlecat. Thank you. All right. Every vampire family has its own symbol. They adopted it from the noble families. Every member of the family has a gold pendant with this symbol on it. Okay, notice I almost said the word golden as opposed to gold. So the choice of words that you have here tells me that is actually gold and not just golden color. Okay, switching. When a man or woman loves another vampire and wants to marry them, they will give their lover the golden pendant with their family symbols. Okay, so you've switched from gold pendant to golden pendant. Okay, is it actually gold or is it just gold in color like a brass or another alloy? Just a question for clarity's sake. All right, for those of you who are working on sprints, I'm going to start this sprint for you. It is gold. Okay, Nathalia, that's good. Then I would I would specifically call that out because the word golden can refer to gold, but it, like I would say, has a pure gold pendant. And then the first time you say it, you say pure gold, and then this other time you can just say gold, but avoid the word golden because that can refer to so many other metals. Okay, first switch. Nobody really knows when the first switch took place. The only thing the vampires know is that it comes out of Narinor. It was, of course, not always out of love. At that time, it was a sign of an arranged marriage. Okay. The only thing the vampires know is that it um I would really shorten that sentence and try like vampires know this tradition comes out of Naranor. The fact that it's the only thing, or that it is that it comes, it could be, this sentence could be shortened a lot, and and be more punchy, and use words more carefully. Um, it was of course, um, not always out of love, and I'd change that to period. At that time, it was a sign of an arranged marriage. Okay. Arm Armand and Vanessa. Oh yeah, okay. Um, it is rumored that the vampire crown prince Armand Barnier gave the human queen Vanessa Laser his golden, again, need to watch out for the word golden, just make it gold, pendant when they were children, of course, not knowing what it meant. Okay, who? Like, of course, she, yeah, who doesn't know what it meant? But the vampires today are saying that it was the first sign of their love and doom. Okay. With this symbol, I welcome you into my family. Vampire to her lover. All right. The pendant needs to be worn by the fiancé, man or woman, with, okay, or woman, or man and woman. Okay, is it just one of the pair that wears the pendant? Because I have a wedding ring, not as fancy as my wife's wedding ring, which has the nice rock on it, but is this something that both wear? With this, they show that they want to be welcomed into the family. After the First War, it became custom to marry in 2 weeks after the switch. Okay. King Cobra, Red Wolf, Burning Flame, Black Widow, Golden Star, two bats. Yeah, I agree, P2 Putu, that this opening quote here, that it really does set the mood of the article. But then you using the switching of symbols. Um hmm. They will give their lover the golden with, okay, so maybe I need some more information on the switching here, because say Barnier and Red Fang, the two of them are two people from those two houses are getting married. So does that mean the Barnier is giving a king cobra to the Red Fang, and the Red Fang is giving a wolf to Barnier, and they're both wearing a pendant with the other house? Or so is that an are both families in the marriage equal, and so in the coming into that arrangement, or is it more patriarchal or matriarchal, that only half of the um like the bride will wear the husband's pendant, but the husband retains his pendant from his family? So because where you're talking about switching here, it to me it implies that they're both giving each other the other pendant, but the example that you give here is that Armand gave the human queen his gold pendant when they were children, but did she give anything back to start the idea of switching something? Did she give him a piece of jewelry in exchange? Because right now you have the gifting of a pendant, but not as the start of your tradition, but you don't have an exchange or a switching of a pendant. So, an idea. Now, beautiful pendant here of the different fish. Okay, another question I have. Cool. Another question that I have: are there masculine and feminine variants of the medallion? Or are there some medallions that are there shapes of the medallion? Because you talk about the symbol, but just as you are closer to the royal line, would they have a bigger medallion or a pendant, a different shaped, if you were a prince as opposed to a duke or a baron? Okay. Nope, it's just one type. Okay. Maybe that could be something that can be documented as well. But yeah, I do like this. I like the idea of how the vampires have their own way of exchanging their love, the tokens of their love. I would, though, clarify the switching. Um, Under the first switch, did Vanessa give anything to him that would make it a true switch as opposed to just a gift of it? Are they do both? Does the intended uh, husband and intended wife both wear the medallion from the other family after they're married? Do they continue to wear the medallion, or do they wear both? Or a lot of cool logistics in here. And the one thing I like about this is somebody could be offended. If we have a fairy who will put a castle full of people to sleep for 100 years because she didn't get invited to a birthday party, imagine how angry people would be if they intentionally refused to wear or didn't wear or something the correct pendant that they were supposed to. For example, if it was an arranged marriage and the bride showed up still wearing her own houses, but that could be a great symbol of defiance, and a lot of potential conflict could be in there, uh, using which pendant they are wearing, how they are wearing it, if they're following proper decorum, you could really get into some interesting subtext that could fuel controversies and conflict within your stories. So, I guess how can people do it right? How can people do it wrong? And how can people intentionally mess it up just to, twist that knife, or just to really intentionally make someone upset? All right. So there, I hope that was helpful. It's a fun article. Okay. So I have something, James, I really would like you to pick a different song, because the Muppet Christmas Carol, as much as it is a wonderful song, I would need to have something that is more DMCA friendly, because I've already had videos I've uploaded to YouTube get flagged, and I just have regular stuff. I mean, I'm using pretzel rocks, but I'm still getting flagged and stuff like that. Okay, so let me get into this. Oh. Choose my own song. Choose my own song. Well, I'll start off with The Joy to the World. Wow. There's just not just a normal one, is there? What on earth? Why am I getting ads in Japanese? I swear. Okay, I'm just going for the hymn books. Oh, I do love that song, Dazzle Cat. Oh, come on. All right. We have about 2 minutes left. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And saints and angels sing, and saints and angels sing, and saints and angels sing. Rejoice, rejoice in the Most High, while Israel spreads abroad, like stars that glitter in the sky. And every worship God, and ever worship God, and ever, never worship God. Merry Christmas. And I really like that idea of Do You Hear What I Hear? Okay, so I'm gonna mark that as complete. Thank you, Magic, and we'll do. Do you hear what I hear? after the next sprint. But let's do it is the fourth sprint of the hour, the first one I'm going to be working on. Thank you so much for everyone who has been doing the articles. And if you have another article, if there are others who have articles, I am trying to limit one article per person per stream so that we can try to spread the love around. So if there are others who would like to have an article critique, we can go ahead and do that. All right. So let's get the music going back on. We'll turn on the sprint. We'll turn on the music back on. We'll turn the music up. And I'll see you in 10 minutes. All right there. How did everyone do? All right, we have one more song that is in the offering. Hey, Magic, good to hear. The publish button, the make live button. Ah. All right. Hey, James. I have good news. I have just passed World Ember by 83 words. 10,083 words. Congratulations, James. Well done. Well done indeed. Yep. Get some hype in the chat. There we go. All right. And of course, that cleared it already. Okay, I'm just going to have to put more in. There we go. All right, so we have Do You Hear What I Hear? All right. 91 words for the last sprint. Good job. Said the night wind to the little lamb, do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb, do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite, with a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the trees with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. I'll just leave it at that. There we go. All right, let's get some instrumental music back. And Magic has published his article. Shipwrecked on an island. Exploration campaign online. Pathfinder 1E, January. Uh-oh. The post has been removed by a moderator. Yeah, Dazzlycat, that is true. The planets aligning. All right, so let's get the... Yeah, I clicked the link, Magic, and it said this post had been removed. I don't know why. It was missing a game tag from this table, which cannot be seen from the official Reddit app, but can be opened in a browser in the title. So, looks like just a little bit more troubleshooting. All right, so let's start this sprint. It is 5 minutes. Oh, I need to go back to XP Pen. All right, there we go. Turning the music up, turning the microphone off. I will see you in 10. there we go. What was the issue, Magic? I'd be interested to know that. Not that I post to Reddit at all, but maybe someone else, it'll be able to help someone else out. Ah. Okay. Now, Drummer Boy is one of these songs in Christmas that I like, but I don't like one specific arrangement. Bing Crosby did an arrangement of it, and then David Bowie did a remix with it and put Peace on Earth in it. And I love Drummer Boy, I love Peace on Earth, but the vocal pairing between David Bowie and Bing Crosby, and the fact that the local radio station seems determined to play it every hour, just is a challenge. All right, so let me turn off the music here. Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, to lay before the king, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, when we come. Little baby, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, I am a poor boy too, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. No, I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, that's fit to give our king, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Crash and burn on that one. Okay. There we go. So let's get back to the sprints. There we go. And music up. Sprint timer on. And I will see you in 10 minutes. All right, there we go. Yep, I needed that wake up face slap. Some days. Trying to let my kids just, I'm going to bed, be quiet. That it is what it is. Thank you so much, Chocolate Monk. And let's see. Yeah, I have this stuff here. I have all of these articles. Let's see if they all link up correctly. Okay, so the Hunter and the Princess is the first one we have. Okay, now we go to the Fraud. Okay, number 2. Okay, scene 3, the King and the Ambassador. Alright. Revenge. The Aftermath. The Confession is the last one. Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear that everyone's excited to go, Magic. There we go. Yep. Okay, so we have that pretty well done, and then we go back to the top. Okay. So I do think that I am good to go. And okay, Magic is looking for some more players. If you are interested in playing a Pathfinder First Edition game, there is that link previously in the chat. Copy link address. Let me paste. Okay, so I did put the Magic put it in, I put it in. Great. Okay, so if anyone is interested in a online January only game, no bad, no problem. No one has yet to abuse the link privileges, so they remain. Okay, I don't know how long that will happen, but nobody's abused them so far. Okay. The first 900 words or so introduce the main character, an element from his backstory, the year, a futuristic cyberpunk monastery, an extra, and a support character. I should write those up in further detail? That's a good question. I don't know. I would only add more information if it drives the plot forward. Because every sentence, every paragraph needs to earn its keep. You need to make sure that it's not in. If you do introduce a piece of world building, why is it in there? It needs to have some meaning or some help into the story. But, and so I would only add, yeah, Chekhov's gun. Very good. How many Chekhov guns do you have? And if you don't have any, yeah, its existence makes it important. So if it's not important, it shouldn't exist. That doesn't mean you can't world build it. You can still have that information in your World Anvil account, or you know it, but unless the reader needs it to move the story along, to build the tension, to develop a character, to be a red herring, yeah, just get rid of it. And I'm really looking forward to the agile world building methodology that Janet and Dimitri of World Anvil are working on together. It's going to be interesting. All right, so we have this sprint already going. I follow an author who wants a shirt with the phrase, "My mantelpiece has many pistols." Well, yeah, and that's important. Agile. The thing behind agile world building is you build enough so that you can tell your story, and if you build more than is required for your story, you could be sucked into world builder's disease. Well, it's like here, you've already talked about the character, the extra, a support character. Those are 3 characters that you now have in the story. You have the monastery, you have a location. Great. So, do you need any more information in those to be able to tell your story? You may have a monastery, but do you really need to know every single room in the monastery? Do you need to know I mean, you're not, unless you're going to have a scene in every single room of the monastery, you don't need it. You can think of yeah. Lost my train of thought on there. Yeah, the pantry closet. Unless you really need to know, or something happens in the pantry closet in the monastery, we really don't need to know that one exists. We'll assume, and our brains will fill in the blank, that yes, there's a kitchen, yes, there's a pantry closet, but unless it really needs to be there, describe, yeah. Okay, well, I'll be quiet now. I'll see you at the end of the sprint. You want to share an image, Magic, over in the Discord? You can either put it in art, you can put it in live stream discussions. Either would work. Unless it's not safe for work. Then I wouldn't put it in there. Welcome, Mercedes. Chocolate Monk, that's right. 30 minutes, set a timer. There you go. I don't think you can share it in Twitch chat unless it's a link to it. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, I guess you can. Oh, beautiful images. Yep, it opened. Hey, Erica. The lesson being originality is kinda needed. Everyone has their take, but what makes it unique to you? Okay, so here we have 6 different foxes, and they're very clearly foxes, but in 6 different styles. And there's more than one breed of fox. But also, if you look at the World of Warcraft fox that you have down there, there's, because of the glowing eyes, something is up with that fox. But yeah, definitely different images, different renditions of it. Or the graphics can't render the fox's eye. Yeah, it is a pretty image, and I do think that there is something to be said about yeah, there's something to be said about originality, but there's also something to be said about delivering what people want. Sometimes people want a bodice ripper. Those romances that you buy at the grocery store that have a shirtless hunk on the cover, and that's what people want. And they see that book, they buy that book, they really enjoy that book. Another example: Hallmark Christmas movies. Heaven help those poor businessmen in New York, in large cities, who have a girlfriend who always leaves and go home for Christmas just to fall in love with the rugged boyfriend from high school that teaches her the meaning of Christmas. I mean, how many times... Oh, you didn't... How many times have we seen that same exact movie? You change the characters. She may be from New York or Los Angeles or Chicago, but she always goes to the same little town where she grew up in, and she meets the rugged, but okay, yeah, well, I give that as an example, is because the bodice ripper. Yeah, I said the word, but auto mod won't even let you type it in there. But yeah, just think about it. It's the same story, but yet we love them. We reread them, we rewatch them, and next year there's going to be a whole new batch of Hallmark movies that are just going to be the exact same thing. So it really doesn't matter. And just to explain, in my in-person writing group, there are a lot of romance writers, and they are not let's just say that they are spicy romance writers, and and I hear a lot about a lot of things that about their romance novels, and I'm glad that they found a niche that they want to write in, and they have had success publishing. Not the path that I have taken or will take, but you know what? We all are individuals, and we all have our own methods of creativity. So yeah, and I think it's important that exactly magic. My thought is, I mean, I don't have a pseudonym. I mean, you guys all know my name. It's right there in the title of this Twitch channel. Yeah, not saying it's wrong, but it's wrong for me. Well, I do think that there are some things wrong for everybody, but I'll keep my opinions of 50 Shades of Grey to myself. But you know, if I can't have my church leaders read my book without getting into trouble, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna write it, and that is my own personal preference. So, but I do like the image. This is very pretty, and yes, they say every story has been written, but it hasn't been written by you. So there it is. So it is pretty. Yeah. Yeah, everything has been written, but it hasn't been written by you. I'm presuming that's the quote, Lathan, that you're talking about. Yeah, that is a good quote. So were you able to put it over there? Yeah, good job. Yeah, memes writing. It's over. All right. So if anyone wants a copy of that image, feel free to go over, and it's in memes writing. It's been a day. Does anyone have anything that they would like to talk about for the next 5 minutes? I don't know where I got that. That is a conversation that is. I've heard that quote from many people, but I don't know where the attribution is. I don't know who said it first. I mean, I guess I could look. The story has been written, but not written by you. Oh, this is interesting. Anna Quindell. Every story has already been told. Once you've read Anna Karenina. Oh, come on. Anna Karenina, Bleak House, The Sound and the Fury, To Kill a Mockingbird, and A Wrinkle in Time, you understand that there is no reason to ever write another novel, except that each writer brings to the table, if she will let herself, something that no one else in history of time has ever had. Okay, so this sounds like this really this really does sound like the origination of the thought, and I'd give them credit, but it's quite long-winded. If you take it from the understanding that everything has already been written, then you'll understand it's not about telling an original story, but telling a story your way. Very true. I'm nothing but a teacher looking to spread my wisdom, most of it learned by hitting walls on my way through life. Yeah. Yeah. So, and see, like right now, this story that I have here called this one's called The Ranger's Revenge, and it's basically the Puss in Boots story, but I'm putting my own twist on it. There's no ogre. There's no. I mean, of course, there is a little bit of magic, but it's my own version of the story, and I think it's quite enjoyable once I've rewritten it. I would add something a teacher told me. He was speaking about a past student that struggled in his nonfiction class. They always shared moments that weren't interesting or where action happened. The teacher sat with them to talk about this and find something they could write about. He said after an hour, the student started crying, saying nothing is interesting enough. Oh. She only spent her youth waiting around her father's workplace. Where was that? The teacher asked. I'm going to let you finish typing that in, and then we'll get back to that. All right, so I think I'm just sorry. The last sprint's not going to happen. It's been a morning, so we will finish Magic's story as he types it in there. But I hope everyone is having a good day. It's been a, as we get in, it's December 15th. I hope that everyone is having a good holiday season. I hope that everyone, but still, that they work on their goals today. Okay. My father rented the southeast corner of an old insane asylum. He'd send me out to play in the older halls where other offices were open, but didn't receive visitors. Oh, wow, that is... I'm sorry, Chop Monk. Hey. Oh, yeah. Right about that, my teacher said. You should know, none of us had that experience. Yeah. Hey, Pitu Putu, 600 words done through the stream. Wonderful. Yeah. Just trying to getting in my own head and trying to get next on this story. But hopefully I'll be in the writing mood tomorrow morning now that we have this ready to go. That's the moral. No one lived your life. Something you did no one else has experienced. Any other palm streams on you know of? What is a palm? P-O-M stream? Because we will definitely go searching for more writing sprint. Oh, Pomodoro. Oh, I don't know. Is that what you mean? I don't know how any people who do it as strictly as I've done it. I know Dinosaur Bob does. Let me just go to... Yeah, Dinosaur Bob. He is online now. So let's go ahead and raid Dinosaur Bob. He does some good writing sprints as well. Yeah, and it looks like Isaac Tom just rated him. So let's do that as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here today and being a part of the writing sprints. It was I need to wake up. Maybe I'll get to bed a little bit earlier tonight. And I hope everyone has a good one. And yeah, I will see you in 22 hours as we continue with the morning marches. Bye, everyone.